We're back.
We're back, and I am at the
You got
train yard.
the tickly tipper, whatever the fuck. What did we call it last time?
Oh, I got a train right now.
Oh,
I'm on a train.
well, we bought the new Twist and Swirl.
Oops, I hit tab on accident, so I guess you guys will see it because now I'm over here. This is the new tipper. The new twist, the new twist and swirl. The new tipper. It held all the rest of the wheat that we had,
No,
or
it
the
didn't.
rest of the rattlesnake.
We got 10,000 still.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this was 21,000 I just dumped into here, and then I put in the train and drove the train over to. Oops, I keep hitting the tab button again. Drove over here to. Is it Marymill? Maplefield. The Maplefield Mill. And I'm about to sell all this, which will hopefully give us some money.
Oh, that was pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was decent. It was it went a lot faster. I thought I was gonna have a more slow build up to it, and it kind of happened all at once. So I was expecting it to keep going, and that didn't happen. But 19,000. We just got to figure out if I got 10 grand more, so that's gonna give us another approximately 8 grand.
Yeah, because we had what 2,000, close to 3,000. So we got like 16. So yeah, about another 8.
So we just gotta figure out what that 8 can actually buy us. And
well,
choices are like a bale wrapper. That's what I really want to build up to, but that's like 42 grand, isn't it?
I think that's what you said. Yeah. Well, you did want to mow some grass too.
So mow it, but I'm just afraid that we can't do anything with the mowed grass.
Yeah.
But the mowers are relatively cheap.
Right.
And I do
At some point, we need to buy our bell wrapper too, which I mean that can happen. Or not bell wrapper, our beller.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta keep forgetting we're still leasing that thing. I guess we also could just lease other things, lease everything like we talked about.
Yeah, how do you feel about lease in real life?
So no, I will never do a lease in real life because leasing is essentially like renting an apartment. And I did that for many, many years because that's like a whole different step in the monetary level. Now that I own a house, even though like the maintenance and stuff is mine, I at least have a payment going toward my purchase. Like it's not going nowhere anymore.
Right. I read an argument the other day on Reddit about how renting is not wasting money because of the whole you don't have to worry about house maintenance and all that. And as someone that has always basically owned, in fact, I've never rented a house. I've always been putting money towards a purchase, basically. Like I bought a trailer when I moved out the first time in high school, and then I own this house here. So yeah, I can't understand the whole lease thing.
So well, the interesting way to think of that is somebody who's been a renter in a house that was destroyed and would not get fixed by the management company for a long time. With the leaky ceiling in the old house that I had in a room that I couldn't be in because it was just like purely filled with water and mold. It's not necessarily the way, though. That shouldn't have happened.
Right, I was about to say, shouldn't there have been laws or something that protected you?
There definitely are laws that protect me, and once I started finally telling them that I was going to utilize those laws, is all of a sudden things got fixed, and I was moving out shortly after, though. But my roommate that we had in the last place that we lived, he was somebody who'd lived there for the last 8 years. He is paying, collectively, amongst the three of us living in the house, we were paying way more than the mortgage of my house currently is, which is right down the street and like the exact same size. And he wants to rent forever. So you got to think of it this way, like he's been there for 8 years. That would be almost a third of owning a house, because usually they're like 30-year mortgages or whatnot. Probably would have to pay less to own the house. Understanding that he's one person and not multiple people. But what you got to realize is, though the maintenance costs are included, the maintenance costs you incur are probably not going to equal the total value of the house once you own it that you could sell it for.
Right.
So the return on investment very well could be low. It's also market risk, depending on where you're at. The housing market crashed a couple of years back, especially places like Michigan, Florida. So you got to look at that as well. But I understand why renting houses, renting apartments, and things like that exists and is a lot more common. Leasing cars baffles me.
I don't understand. I wish, my cousin has always been a leaser, and I mean, he's not a smart man, so I can't ask him explain this to me in an educated way. So I don't know. I don't understand leasing. I don't understand it, and I can't understand it. And I feel like there's probably someone out there that can break it down and make it seem like a thing.
So cars can become money pits after a while, that's for sure. And some people, the reason that they like leasing is because they pay the same amount of money every month, and every 2 years they have a brand new vehicle. You can't really do that when you purchase a car, because in 2 years you're probably not going to be able to sell your car for the amount of money it would take to, like, you know, buy a new car and have all that stuff. So there's that piece of it. So I don't know, but I've never ever wanted to lease. And granted, most of the leases that I see are about the same monthly payment as the car payments are when you have 3 to 5 year terms on car purchases versus 30 years on a house.
Right, that's that I guess that's the other thing I just never have understood is you're still paying the same amount. I mean, I guess I'd never thought of it as the whole get a new car every 2 years and you're still just paying the same amount. I mean, I guess you're still paying the same amount. It might go up though, right?
Well, it depends on what car you buy, but essentially, let's say if I'm paying $200 for a lease a month right now, in 2 years, I'm probably going to get a brand new car and have to pay $200 a month for the lease. So that's what I'm saying is every 2 years you're getting a new car because your lease ends and then you get a different car, and most likely you're going to probably get in a car that's around the same price range that you were paying previously.
Right.
So that's where it really is. That's where my logic is in the paying the same amount every 2 years. Or yeah. I don't know if that made any sense at all, what I said. It made sense in my own head.
Did this feel
I understood what I said. Hold on, I'm selling the rest of that that rattlesnake.
Okay.
Was I not supposed to?
No, yeah, you sell it. You sell that shit.
Okay, I'm already at the train station with it.
Oh, look at that.
And it's gone.
28.
And it's gone.
You should do the other one too. Whatever.
Do we have more?
We got something.
Well, let me get the train back to the station, and I'll go see what else it is we have.
We have wheat or something. It's only 1,700 of it, but...
Oh, 1,700?
Yeah, maybe it's not worth your time.
Yeah, we could probably just... Because we have wheat planted in these fields,
oh, yeah,
right?
we do. You're right. I forgot we switched it up.
I want to know, I think these... I just passed a station that I think is a logging station. I think you can, like, load up logs on the train.
Oh. You gonna get the saw back out?
I mean, I might take that tractor out, get the saw out, go saw some logs, which somehow is a... So if somebody told you the term saw some logs, what would you think? And you knew they weren't talking about actually like going out with a chainsaw and sawing logs.
I don't think anyone would ever put that. I don't know how that became a saying. Because how do you get there from... Yeah. I agree.
But which one? Because I've heard it for multiple different things.
Oh, I've only heard it for snoring.
Okay, so snoring is a big one. I've heard people say saw some logs as going to the bathroom.
Well, see, now that's not saw some logs. That's God, what is that? Drop a log or something like that.
There is drop a log, but maybe that's where it came from. Maybe somebody went to say like saw some logs or drop a log and accidentally said saw some logs and it kind of took off from there.
I mean,
it's like
you're dropping multiple. I mean, that's you know, I don't know. Mine's normally just one piece.
So it's like if somebody says if you're full of shit, another terminology for that is that's a crock of shit, right?
Yeah.
You've heard that term before? I had a buddy who accidentally once was trying to say crock of shit, but said bunch of crock instead. Because he kind of combined bunch of shit and crock of shit, like, you know, all that together. And so for like I constantly now say like that's a crock, or that's a crock of wait. That's a bunch of crock. Like I'll say that's a bunch of crock because it's just something random that I know. That
sounds
is
like like a bunch of crocodiles or something.
That's a bunch of crocs.
It's like
All
something
Hogan would be
Crocodile
proud.
Hunter would say.
Yeah. Oh, Crocodile Hunter. Poor guy.
You know, I can't see a stingray without thinking about how they murdered him.
I mean, did they really murder him, or did he murder himself?
you can't murder yourself.
Well, you can. It's called suicide.
Well,
I mean,
but yeah, but they don't. You don't say
yourself.
that though. You never say, "Oh,
Well,
look, he
it's just
murdered
like
himself."
You don't say a bunch of crock, or you don't say saw on logs when you're taking a shit. But you know, you can say somebody murdered themselves.
You know, of all the things he fucked with, I feel like that was the least likely to kill him.
The Stingray? Yeah, probably.
Like if I don't, I'm sure that Vegas would be doing this.
I guess in hindsight, it was the most likely to kill him. But,
Well,
I mean,
in hindsight, yes. But what I was going to say is if like Vegas was taking odds and they had all the animals that he was going to fuck with in a list, I don't think Stingray would have made it. Whoever had betted on Stingray,
somebody probably made a lot of money on that.
Right, they would have.
Yeah. So you know how we talked about death pools before?
Yeah.
So it makes me kind of curious. Like, the whole point of a death pool is about, whatever the person is, less than 100 is their points if they die, if you have them in your death pool.
Okay.
But people like Steve Irwin, wouldn't he be at like some type of handicap?
Right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. There should be a handicap for that. Like anyone that's doing stupid shit. Like I feel like David Blaine's another one that should probably be up there with, like.
But David Blaine shit's all fake, so I mean, what's that matter?
What do you mean?
You think David Blaine really sat in that big like sphere of water in New York City for 7 solid days?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's like you watch reality TV shows, right?
Wait, no.
You really think he did that?
I think David Blaine is legit. I think he does the stuff that he does.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
Maybe
I'm not
not
talking about his random street magic. Like, I get it. And you really think he levitates?
Well, no. Man doesn't fly.
So...
I mean, that's an illusion.
So, part of it's an illusion, but if you've ever watched, like, the Behind the Magic or whatever, specifically about David Blaine, it talks about in any of his TV specials you've ever seen, they use camera tricks, and they actually have him on a crane in those specials.
Okay.
That he does it on the street magic part as an illusion with like hiding one foot behind the other, and he doesn't go nearly as high. But when they do the TV specials, it's always way higher because they're actually using a crane to make it look to a TV audience.
Well,
so
yeah,
much more compelling.
Yeah, sure. But like,
is that really? That's not really doing it, then, is it?
Well, no. I mean, that's part of the show, right? But I'm talking about like whenever he like sat in a block of ice for however long, or whatever. Like he really did that.
So again, on that same Magic Revealed or whatever it was with the masked magician dude, they tore that one apart. Showed for one, not only was it like 62 degrees inside of an ice case that you make it, but they showed how and when he stepped out of it to have a stand-in sitting in there so he could take a break in the back.
Oh, really?
Yes. I don't know how real that is compared to anything else either, because I might just be taking that at face value, but oh wow, I just came to like...
Well, like one of the things he recently did was...
I think I came to the American Embassy on this map.
Really?
It's like this place at the end of this road that says no trespassing with a big American flag hanging. It looks like a prison.
Maybe it's the prison.
I don't know what this is. That's why I'm going to drive in here.
So one of the things he recently did was he learned how to regurgitate large amounts of things. Like he could like drink a bunch of water and then spit up a fish basically. And he learned how to like swallow large amounts of like gasoline or some kind of ignitable thing, and then like pull it out of his stomach and light it on fire like by spitting it or whatever. So like I don't know. I believe that he does like training to learn how to do things.
Okay, I would believe you there. There are stupid things that people do learn how to do like that to please a crowd, and I would buy that. But the way you kind of made the blanket statement, it makes me feel like you think that everything he does has been legit all the time.
Well, no, I don't think the man can fly or things like that. But I believe that he has put a lot of effort into his illusions, and I don't believe the man knows magic. If that's where we're going with this, no, I don't think he's a wizard.
No, and I didn't think that, but even the simple stunts like sitting, like the whole one about him sitting in that water sphere in the middle of New York City for 7 solid days. They were like, scientifically, they were showing how that after 7 days, his muscles would have atrophied enough sitting in that water that he wouldn't be able to walk right away afterwards. And the 7th day when they pulled him out, he literally like got out and like walked up to the stage and was like, "Oh, that was difficult." And the scientific community was like, "That's not possible right now for him to do that."
Maybe he trained really hard.
For 7 days in that water?
Well, no, beforehand. Because a lot of times whenever he does those things, Like he held his breath for some ridiculous amount of time too, and like that one was one of the things where he like slowly trained to do that over like 6 months or some shit, or a year or some long period of time.
He trained to hold his breath.
Well, yeah, like he would. I mean, that's like it's kind of like Pyro in his meditation. Like you gotta consume less oxygen.
So next time I talk to Pyro, you want me to actually tell Pyro, "Hey, Guude compares you to David Blaine." Like,
Yeah.
So your meditation's an illusion, Pyro? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I understand. I'll let him know. We'll see what he thinks of all this.
I mean, I don't understand meditation. I'm gonna be honest.
I also don't understand the fact that I cut this tree 3 different times and it is still standing. But I would agree. I don't understand meditation either. It's not something for me.
I want it to be. Not for you, but I mean.
well, thanks, Guude.
I want that for you. No, I mean, I wish I understood and could be. Like it sounds fantastic.
Why? Just out of curiosity, what sounds so fantastic about it for you?
Well, it sounds like you get to clear your mind and can really just focus yourself and control your breathing and just be happy. I just want to be happy.
So I was gonna say I can focus and control my breathing and stuff.
Well, it sounds like it like clears your thought in a way that you're not so sad. I don't know. Like you're I don't know, man. It just sounds fantastic. Pyro makes it sound fantastic.
I mean, anybody who's really into meditation makes it sound fantastic, but also people make yoga sound fantastic, and that is not fantastic at all to me.
See,
like,
I want to know how to yoga too.
You can take classes and just sit in the position. You can watch a YouTube video, man. Just like, oh, this is yoga, like downward dog. Awesome.
Well, downward dog. Ooh.
Yeah, that's one of the like most common and famous yoga positions is downward dog.
It sounds like it could be an IPA.
That is true. That'd be a good IPA. The downward dog. And the bottle's actually made upside down, so the cap's at the bottom. I mean, why can I not cut this tree in the right way? I don't get it. I feel like my chainsaw is not letting me cut things right, but...
So before we start recording, I was looking through my magazine from the grocery store, and you stopped me talking about that.
Oh, I did. So you said there was a magazine from your grocery store. What do you mean? Define magazine from the grocery store.
I mean, it's Kroger My Magazine, your personalized magazine, helpful tips, ideas, and recipes picked for you. Social summer made simple, foods to feed the crowd, and much more. Going beyond beef burgers.
So you're talking articles.
No, it's a fucking magazine.
Yeah, you're not talking like this is our sale special for the week.
No. It's not. No, it's not like the weekly ad or anything. It's a magazine.
So I literally picked up out of my mailbox today and a magazine. It was called the Costco Connection, I believe it was, because we have Costco's out here and we're Costco members. And I started flipping through it because I thought it was the weekly specials. And I was like, this magazine is the stupidest fucking magazine I've ever seen in my life. Like, it had an article with that, one-armed chick that was on The Amazing Race.
Oh.
And about, like, surfing or something like that. But, I mean, the whole thing was, it was articles about just, like, stupid shit. It was a magazine. And I was like, what grocery store has a magazine?
You've been missing out.
So, well, apparently I've been missing out because you've been reading the Kroger magazine for years. And it's really funny that this happened, like, today, about, 2 hours ago from recording this. But I want to know, like, who's like, oh, I've been published. And you're like, oh, and what? And you're like, the Kroger Connection or, like, the Costco Connection.
I'm actually looking through it right now as you talk, and there's, Dr. Laura.
We're still on 120. Is that?
Oh yeah. I've been waiting for this to grow. It just did that as you said that. Yeah, there's Dr. Lauren. I thought I dropped the magazine when you said that. Lost her. Well, there's Chef John. Oh, our own Chef John. He works for Kroger, I guess, and he's got a whole thing about cooking by heart. You don't have to be a professional trained chef to cook without a recipe, he says. But most of it's
yeah, you're right. I cook without a recipe all the time.
Right?
It's called leftover pie. whatever the hell I feel like making that day.
But most of it is like, you know, just recipes and basically showing you shit that they want you to go to the grocery store and buy to make these things. But then this thing from Dr. Lauren Eckert Ploch. She sounds like she's Klingon.
It's Lauren Eckert Ploch.
Ploch.
Eckert Ploch.
Is nurturing summer skin. Expert tips for protecting skin and looking radiant all season long.
I mean, I could do that as well.
It shows her putting on some sunscreen. Oh yeah, there's like a section for sunburn, poison ivy, heat rash, and bug bites and bee stings.
That is an amazing magazine. I want to know who really is like, whose career is based off of the fact that they get published in, you know, this magazine from their grocery store.
How do you...
Do you read it on the regular? Is this like your weekend reading?
I mean, I read it when it comes in the mail every month. I don't read it actually. Because it also does have coupons in it in like the center section. And I believe
it has what? It has what now?
Coupons.
So it's coupons?
What, am I saying this wrong?
I don't know. I've heard people say it both ways, but apparently you're one of those who says coupons instead of coupons.
Coupons is not a word.
Or coupons.
Coupons?
But coupons is probably not really a word. But coupons, why? Coop. C-O-U-P. How do you spell a chicken coop?
Fine.
Is it a chicken coop?
No. Is it aluminium? How do you turn on this thing? I can't make it do its thing. I just threw it on the ground.
Which thing are you trying to make it do?
Maybe I got this wrong tool selected?
Oh my god, I just got the tractor stuck on a stump.
Lower head.
Oh god. I need help. I'm stuck. Never gonna get out of here.
There we go. I figured it out. I had the wrong tool selected or some shit. No, I've always called them coupons though.
I wish resetting my tractor wasn't going to set it all the way back to the store because I just got stuck on a stump. Can I cut the stump? I didn't cut the stump. I'm going to try to do. Oh, please let me. Come on, let me cut the stump.
Cut the stump.
Actually, I will admit that I normally say coupons, not coupons. Or
coupons?
Coupons?
Coupons. I like it.
Cupins, like Mark Cupins?
Yeah.
The owner of the Dallas Mavericks? But yeah, so coupons.
Yeah, I've always said coupons. Everyone I know says coupons.
Well, that's probably why you say coupons.
Probably.
Everyone you know is a moron. No, I have no idea what actually is supposed to be the right way to say that. That's one of those words I think that people say like geographically, probably.
Right. Not the word geographic.
They say C-O-U-P-O-N-S. Geographically.
That's a really weird way to say it.
That makes sense to me. Oh, hold on. I think I cut the stump. Get out of here, stump. Oh, no. It just went under the tractor. Can I drive now, though?
Reminded me of yes, the guy from The Stand. The M-O-O-N. That's close coupons.
Wait, what?
Have you ever... I know you don't read, but have you ever watched The Stand?
No. That's a Stephen King novel, right?
Yeah.
So I have not, but...
There's a retarded guy in it, and...
I think that's not politically correct.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, you know that's not PC anymore, right?
Is it? What do you say?
He's
mentally
challenged. Yes.
He's retarded.
Well,
you know what? That's retarded. You should say retarded.
It reminded me of, you seen something about Mary, right?
Yeah.
When he says something like he's trying to show off, and he's like, "Yeah, I help retarded kids," and she goes, "That's not politically correct." He's like, "I don't care what people think. I like to help those little bastards." So whenever somebody says that, that's always what I think. I really, I don't care what you say because I know you don't mean it in a negative way. Like,
right.
That's the thing. It's all about how it's meant, and I know it's not meant in a negative way. So,
well, he can't spell, and so for some reason, he's like, for him, everything is spelled M-O-O-N. So he's like, you know, he'd be talking about something and he'd be like, golly gee, that was a great baseball game. Yep, M-O-O-N, that spells baseball.
Nope, never seen that. Definitely not.
That's a pretty good movie, or book, and everything. Everything about that's good. You should check
So,
it out.
so I've read some Stephen King. Like I read The Langoliers, which is actually like only like part of a short story. Like I guess from 4 Past Midnight. Is that what it is?
Okay, yeah, I don't read his short stories.
Well, and it's not that short. It's like a couple hundred pages, if I recall. Like, so it's not like it's 10 pages, Clifford the Dog. You know, it's not one of those, but it's not. You know, his books are usually extremely long. I've just never gotten into Stephen King, and but he's so detailed, from what I understand, to a point where I think I would get bored. I have like ADD.
Yeah.
I don't really have ADD, but
I could see you with ADD.
I probably do have ADD. Like,
I would believe if you said you had ADD. I could see that.
I was in remedial classes in elementary school, actually.
Really?
Yep, because I couldn't pay attention, so I probably should have been diagnosed with ADD. But I'm glad I wasn't, because
Do you feel like that gets overdiagnosed these days?
Yes, yeah, definitely. For certain, it gets overdiagnosed, and diagnosing it is fine if your immediate thing is not like, oh, ADD, here's medication.
Right.
Like, because people don't necessarily need medication because kids have a problem paying attention. You know, kids have a problem paying attention because they're fucking kids. I mean, that's
right. That's how I feel about it too. It's like, they're not paying attention. They're thinking about all the video games they're gonna play later, or who the fuck knows. Especially once they get to some puberty. Now they're thinking about who God knows what.
And now they're thinking about what they're getting into over lunch. And I mean who. By what I mean who they're getting into over lunch. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got my tractor all up in the air like I just don't care.
So how do you feel about homeschool?
So, I feel people can learn from homeschool because there can be smart parents that teach kids, but you completely miss out on social interaction. Every person I know who's been homeschooled, I'm friends with a decent amount of people who have been homeschooled, and they definitely are lacking some of that social standards of like the way they treat people and the way they act, because they just never dealt with it before.
Right.
Like they're kind of like pricks and assholes, but I think it's because they don't really know any better.
That's all they were ever shown.
Yeah, I mean, they just never had to, like, they kind of want everything for themselves, but all their life, all they've had to deal with is themselves. Like, there's been nobody else to deal with. They're homeschooled. It's them and their teacher, who's most likely a parent.
Right.
And that is it. And, you know, they don't learn how to give and take. They just learn to take, because that's what it is until you get out there in the real world. And that's a generalization, of course, but that's my thought process on it. Do I think you can get a good education with it? Sure. Do I think there's very successful people who have been homeschooled? Of course. But I definitely think that makes it harder for them to assimilate later in life.
Yeah. So there's this parent. So the gymnastics my daughter goes to, so this is like a two-parter here. The gymnastics she goes to, there's all these kids there, and one day I heard these parents talking about how like their homeschool activities, and like, I mean, there's like most of the kids that are there, like my daughter's class has only got like 8 kids in it or whatever, so you know they're not in school yet. But then the majority of people there's like probably 60 to 100 teenish, like middle school aged kids, and I didn't realize they're all homeschooled. It's just like this giant mass of homeschooled kids. The whole group of all these kids are all homeschooled, and I was kind of blown away by how many there were. There's just so many. So that's the first part of the story. The other part was at her dance school. There's this woman that homeschools her kids, and so she brings them all with her to dance. Like, she's got one kid that's in dance, it's my daughter's age, and then she's got a boy that I would guess is like 10 or 11, and then 2 of the little girls. But I heard her talking to one of the other parents about why she decided to go homeschool, and it was because of her son, and he can't read. And that's why she started homeschool, because she decided that he should learn at his own pace, and he'll read whenever he's ready. And he's like, he's too old. He should be reading.
How? And he's 11?
That would be my guess, if I had to guess his age, just by looking at him. 10 or 11, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I would think he should be reading. So wait, is she not teaching him to read? Like, what is he doing during homeschooling if he's not learning things like reading?
The weird part, too, is I've heard her go over some of the curriculum and stuff with him, because she does all that while... Oh, fuck, I just hit the tipple.
You tist?
Tist. I twisted the twirly, whatever the fuck this thing's called. I can't remember what it's...
I twisted the twirly.
But they were planning a Disney trip.
There's a car there. I'm running over a car trying to drive a log down the street.
That's a euphemism. But they were going to Disney together, and she was trying to figure out how to make the Disney trip part of his curriculum, basically. She was like, all right, so what rides are we going to write a paper about? And stuff like that.
Wait. Well, who do you, like, that's the one thing I don't get about homeschooling either, is at the end, do you just take a test, or are you submitting papers to somebody? Yeah, like, how does that part of it work?
Yeah, there.
Or is it self-attestation that, yep, I think I'm good?
Well, it's kind of that. I've never heard that word.
Self-attestation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
new to my vocabulary.
Yeah, it means you basically claim on your own that things are fine. The main reason I know that is because electronic health record vendors, for usability standards, to show if this thing is actually a product that people can use and feel good about using because it like fits with them, or because it's functional enough to use. The only usability like regulations they have are a self-attestation that the EHR company says that they're usable.
Oh.
And I'm like, really? There's a self-attestation for usability and how easy it is to use by the EHR company.
That doesn't sound
right. Yeah, that makes no sense. But that's why I know it. So anyways, go on.
But I don't actually know. I don't know for sure how it works. I do know there are still some standardized testing and stuff, but it's all done from the comfort of your home. So it really is open to being cheated, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could, like, your parents could be doing the standardized test for you and sending them in since they're at home. Right.
And what I don't understand also is, I basically don't understand online courses either. Like, this isn't, like, no longer talking about homeschool. Like, I don't understand online college.
My whole college is online.
Well, so how does that work? Because, like...
How much did that just sell for? I was trying to figure out how this whole log pickup place went, and I drove a big-ass log to it, and it just sold it.
We had like 28, so I think you got like 2,000 out of that, maybe?
Man, that was a lot of work. I'm at the train tracks here, and I thought I was going to be able to like pick up these things and put them in the train, but it just sold. There's a huge crane above me and stuff that I get to control. I thought I was going to pick up. I spent this whole episode getting this log ready to try to find out how this thing worked, and it was just like, bing! I drove over it. It was gone.
Well, I mean, I guess with that said, we probably are out of time too. So you're being.
But you were talking about online school. Now I'm so curious.
Well, we can talk about that in the next episode. You got to come back in 2 days to hear more about online school.
All right, guys. We will see you in 2 days.
Bye.
Online. Bye.